Hey, what if I told you the secret to true wealth isn't in your bank account, but in a silent act so small it could slip by unnoticed? I'm not talking gold or gadgets. I'm talking about a richness of spirit that transforms your life and others, right under your nose, starting this very moment. I've walked this earth for over 7 decades, seen empires of money crumble, and learned as Buddha's advocate that real abundance comes from silent help. Unasked kindness rooted in the deepest compassion. Stick with me and I'll show you how this ancient practice can make this new year your most meaningful yet. Now let's dig deeper. You might be wondering, what's so special about helping without being asked? Isn't all help good? Fair question, but here's the twist. Silent help isn't just about the act, it's about the heart behind it. It's noticing your neighbor struggling with heavy groceries and stepping in before they even sigh for aid. It's seeing a coworker buried under deadlines and quietly organizing their desk while they're at lunch. This isn't charity for applause, it's a spiritual muscle you flex in secret, aligning with the Buddhist path of selflessness. I've watched folks chase wealth through stocks and schemes, only to end up hollow. But I've also seen a quiet soul light up a room just by sweeping a temple floor unprompted. That's the wealth I'm preaching, a currency of connection. Think about the last time someone helped you without a word. Maybe a stranger held a door when your hands were full. Didn't that small gesture ripple through your day? Silent help builds bridges where words can't reach, and it's a practice as old as the Dharma itself. The Buddha taught us to see suffering and act, not for reward but because easing pain is our nature. Studies even back this up. Research from Harvard in 2017 showed that acts of kindness, especially unsolicited ones, boost oxytocin levels, literally wiring us for happiness. But beyond science, it's the stories that hit home. I recall a cold winter in my hometown, watching an old friend, a baker, slip extra loaves into the bags of struggling families at checkout. Never a word, just a wink. Those families didn't just get bread, they got dignity, hope. That's silent help. It's not loud, but it echoes. Over the years, I've learned it's these unseen threads of care that weave a community tighter than any contract or coin. So, let's unpack this further. How does a practice so subtle carry such weight? It starts with intention. You're not just lifting a burden, you're cultivating mindfulness, scanning for suffering like a monk scans his breath. You're training in generosity, giving without expectation as the sutras urge. And you're embodying compassion, feeling another's ache as your own. This isn't abstract, it's practical. Imagine your spouse tidying the house after a long day. You don't wait for them to ask, you just grab a broom. Or picture a young student at a meditation retreat, lost in thought, and you quietly refill their water jug. These moments aren't heroic, but they're holy. They shift your focus from me to we, a core tenet of Buddhism that's been my guiding star through decades of life's ups and downs. I've lost count of the times I've carried a stranger's bag or cleaned a shared space without fanfare, only to feel a quiet glow inside, richer than any paycheck. And trust me, I've had my share of lean years, times when I couldn't spare a dime, but I could spare a hand. That's wealth no market crash can touch. So, as we step into this new year, I challenge you to look closer at the silent needs around you. Who's struggling in plain sight? What small act could shift their day? This isn't a resolution to scribble and forget. It's a daily vow, a spiritual anchor. Let's keep peeling back the layers. There's more to this than meets the eye. Alright, let's shake things up a bit. You might think silent help is just about being nice, a feel-good pat on the back. But what if I told you it's also a mirror, showing you the parts of yourself you've ignored? See, when you help without being asked, you're forced to face your own selfishness, your own rush to mind your business. I've been there. Years ago, I'd walk past folks on the street, head down, thinking, not my problem. But Buddhism doesn't let you off that easy. It demands you look, One rainy evening, I saw a young man at a bus stop, soaked to the bone, no umbrella, clutching a thin jacket. My first instinct? Keep walking. I had places to be. But then I remembered the teachings. Suffering isn't someone else's story, it's ours. I turned back, handed him my spare umbrella, no words exchanged. His quick nod, the relief in his eyes, it cut through me. I didn't just help him. I helped myself see how often I'd chosen comfort over care. That's the hidden edge of silent help. It's a reckoning. You start noticing not just others' needs but your own blind spots. It's uncomfortable, sure, but growth always is. Think of it like meditation. Sitting with your thoughts isn't cozy, but it sharpens you. So does this. I've spent years refining this lens, observing how even in bustling cities across Europe and America, people crave connection yet hide their burdens. A single mom at the grocery store juggling kids in a cart. How often do we avert our gaze? Or an elderly man at a park, bench-bound, longing for a chat. Do we pause? Silent help forces you to answer these questions, not with words, but actions. And each time, you chip away at your ego, inching closer to the boundless compassion the Buddha spoke of. So ask yourself, what are you not seeing right now? What act of quiet care could jolt you awake? Let's dive even deeper into why this practice isn't just personal, it's revolutionary. Here's where we hit the heart of it. Silent help isn't a cute habit. It's a radical act of defiance against a world obsessed with what's in it for me. It's wealth redefined not as accumulation but as distribution of care, time, heart. Let me paint you a picture from my own life, one that still burns bright in my memory. Back in the 80s, I volunteered at a small community center in a rough part of town. There was this kid, maybe 14, always hanging around, quiet, clothes worn thin. I could tell he was hungry, not just for food but for someone to see him. I didn't wait for him to ask. One day, I packed an extra sandwich, slipped it into his backpack while he wasn't looking. Didn't say a word. Next day he's back, same spot, but his shoulders aren't so slumped. Weeks later, I catch him helping another kid with homework, unprompted. That sandwich wasn't just lunch, it was a seed. That's the power of silent help. It ripples. The Buddhist teachings in the Dhammapada ring clear. Conquer anger with love, evil with good. This isn't passive, it's active transformation. Let's break it down with logic. First, unasked help bypasses pride, yours and theirs. No one has to admit weakness. No one owes a debt. It's pure. Second, it builds trust in a way words can't. Think of a friend who's always fine, but you know they're drowning. You don't grill them, you just show up with coffee, sit in silence. That presence speaks louder than a speech. Third, it rewires your priorities. I've lived through economic booms and busts, chased material gains in my younger years, only to realize they're fleeting. But the warmth from helping a stranger clear snow off their car last winter? That sticks. And here's hard proof. A 2020 study from the University of Zurich found that unsolicited acts of kindness increase life satisfaction for the giver more than solicited ones, by nearly 30%. Why? Because it's untainted by obligation. Now let's zoom in on a broader canvas. Across Buddhist communities in Europe and America, I've seen silent help mend divides. At a retreat in Colorado, I watched a tense group, folks from different walks, clashing over petty stuff, soften when one member, without fanfare, started washing everyone's dishes after meals. No announcement, just action. By day 3, others joined in, barriers melted. That's not coincidence, it's karma in motion. Each act plants a cause for harmony. And it's not just retreats. In urban sanghas from London to New York, I've heard tales of members quietly supporting each other, paying a bus fare here, dropping off groceries there, building bonds stronger than any sermon. So let's get practical for this new year. Start small but specific. Notice your family first. Does your partner look drained? Take over a chore, no questions asked. At work, spot a colleague overwhelmed? Handle a small task for them, no credit claimed. In your neighborhood, see an elder struggling with yard work? Grab a rake. These aren't grand gestures. They're precise strikes against suffering. And here's the spiritual kicker. Each act is a meditation. You're fully present, attuned to another's need, ego sidelined. I've done this for decades. Helped without asking, from fixing a leaky tap for a friend to leaving extra coins at a laundromat for whoever's short. Each time, I'm not just aiding, I'm practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Right action, right intention, right mindfulness. This is wealth, friends. Not a vault of gold, but a heart full of giving. And the more you give silently, the more you gain. A paradox the Buddha knew well. So, as we stand at this year's threshold, let's commit to this currency. But wait, there's a hidden joy in this I can't wait to share. Now let's lighten up and feel the magic. Here's the sweet surprise of silent help. It's not just about others, it's a secret gift to yourself. I call it deliberate joy. See, after you've helped without a nudge, don't just move on. Pause. Savor. Picture this. You've just carried a heavy bag for an old lady at the market. She doesn't even notice it was you, just mumbles a thanks to the air. You could shrug and walk off, but instead, stand there a second. Close your eyes. Feel the weight you lifted, not just the bag, but her burden. Let a smile creep up. Whisper to yourself, I did that. It's like a warm sip of tea on a frosty day, spreading from your chest outward. I've made this a ritual over the years. Last month, I helped a young dad at the park. His toddler was wailing, toys everywhere, and he was a mess. I quietly gathered the scattered blocks, handed them over, no big deal. He barely looked up, too frazzled. But as I walked away, I stopped by a bench, took a breath, and let that joy sink in. I pictured that dad getting home a little less stressed, maybe hugging his kid a bit tighter. My heart swelled. That's deliberate joy, and it's addictive. It's not automatic, you've got to choose it. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate positive states, right? This is how. It's like polishing a dusty mirror. The shine was always there, you just had to wipe it clean. I've shared this trick with friends across Sanghas from Berlin to Boston, and they've come back with stories. One woman told me she started leaving anonymous notes of encouragement in her office. Little things like, "You've got this," on a stressed coworker's desk. No one knew it was her. But after each note, she'd step outside, take a moment, and grin at the thought of someone's day brightening. She said it felt like a mini enlightenment, a burst of lightness. And isn't that the point? The Buddha spoke of joy as a path to liberation. Mudita, sympathetic joy. Silent help gives you that double-fold, joy for their relief, joy for your growth. So, next time you do a quiet kindness, maybe refilling a friend's water during a long chat or tidying a shared space, don't rush past the feeling. Stand still. Soak it in. I've lived long enough to know life's heavy, bills, loss, aches, but these tiny victories, they're your armor. They remind you you're more than your struggles. You're a force of good. Try it this week. Help silently, then celebrate silently. Watch how it shifts your whole day. It's a little game I play with myself even now, at my age, chuckling as I tally up these hidden wins. It's wealth no one can steal, a treasure chest in your soul. So, let's wrap this up with a final nudge to carry this forward. Friends, let's boil it down. Silent help is your spiritual goldmine. It's not just kindness. It's a practice of compassion, mindfulness, and joy that enriches you and everyone around. Rooted in the Buddha's timeless wisdom, it's a way to live the Dharma every day, unasked, unseen, but deeply felt. This new year, make it your vow. Start small, stay quiet, but act. Notice the needs, lift the burdens, and savor the warmth. I've walked this path for decades and I promise it's wealth beyond measure. If my stories and insights have sparked something in you, please hit that like, subscribe. Your support keeps me sharing these truths. Every bit of encouragement fuels my fire. And hurry, content like this can vanish, so don't miss out. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one silent act of help you've done or received that left a mark? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears for your story.